everybody, what's up? It's me, Sergeant Snazzy, and you're probably wondering, gee Snazzy, why'd you bring out the Danger Ranger today? You don't really talk about the truck very much. And, well, I thought I'd give a little video about it. It's time that it deserved some of the spotlight in my channel. Most car guys do have a daily, and this is my daily. I've owned it for about 4 years now, and it served me pretty well. So this is more like a couple reasons why I think you should buy, why a Ranger is a good daily, and why I think you should buy one. But also, it's mostly just another video to give me an excuse to talk about my truck, because eventually I am going to get rid of this thing and hopefully trade it out with something more sensible, like an Accord, or maybe just a regular sedan. Like, I eventually do want to get a regular car to replace this, because first of all, I hardly use the bed for anything, and second, well, my friends can't fit in the back. So, it's obviously kind of a crutch. So, here's a couple reasons why I think the Ranger is a decent little daily. Well, for one thing, they're everywhere. You can go to any junkyard, you can go to any auto selling site, and you'll always find a daily for sale. Usually for about $1,500 to $2,000, and parts are very cheap too. I tell you, at the local junkyard, you can get them for about, well, you can get parts for pretty much anything. And especially these Rangers, they pretty much use all the same parts, and they use the same engine for practically the last 30 years. So, Now, I know people like to hate the Ranger because the engines have a lot of torque, and the engine's not very good. And yeah, I know, the Vulcan isn't really a good engine. It's slow. It's only got 140 horsepower. But, it does the job pretty well. Now, mine is I think it's a 4-speed automatic with 4-wheel drive. Now, this is the XLT model. The XLT is more of the sport package. It's got the sportier suspension, got a step side bed, which I for some reason made out of fiberglass. I don't know why. And of course, it had fog lights, but so I rolled it. You can't really tell. You can't really tell. I'll just show you here. I'll just show you. You can't really tell, but there's a bit of a ding, some dings here. I actually rolled it. The only thing I broke was this mirror. Didn't break any windows, didn't break anything. I did tear off the bottom valence for the fog lights when I did that though. So, it's the sportier package, and it's got 4-wheel drive, power windows, power steering, power locks. Those power locks don't work anymore because the motors are all worn out. So I don't even lock it, No one's gonna steal it. No one's gonna take it. I don't even fucking lock it. It's, Now let's bring you to the next part of the video. Now, this thing is a survivor. Okay, it has survived all the crap, all the abuse I put it through. I've ripped the shit in this thing. I've done donuts in this thing. I've rolled it. I've crashed it. And this thing just doesn't want to die. I tell you. So here's one of the more recent battle scars added to the Ranger. So on Monday, we got a big storm. And there you go. I got T-boned. So one thing, the door will not close all the way. Now, I'll just give you a little bit closer look here of the Ranger, of the door. And so what was happening was I was turning to go to where I am right now, which is Iron Mountain. I use this parking lot because no one's here on the weekends, and I don't really feel comfortable having people watch me while I'm filming. So I was driving into work, and I slid across Route 1, and I got T-boned. So I thought, well, I could buy a new door, but he thought, you know, so I'll probably end up getting a new door for it. Spray paint it white, hoping my mom and dad won't notice that I've you know, dented it. So the only problem is the dome light won't go off, so I took out the bulb out of the dome. Well, oh, sorry, my boss did. He helped me do it. Take the bulbs out of the dome light, and there's a big air gap. So let me see if I can show you here. There is a big ol' air gap now because the door is not seating right on. Because I think because the sill is kind of buggered up. But I think it's because maybe when the door got hit, it might have got off-centered. So, honestly, I was talking to my landlord. They were like, well, what are you going to do with one of your cars? And I'm like, well, I'm probably going to sell this. If I can get $500 for it, I think I'll you know, definitely sell it. So, if not, maybe Gabe will take it for scrap. So I'm gonna go into some more reasons why the Ranger is a good daily. So Ranger's a good daily. It's because they're so abundant, you know. Hang on. Let me just readjust here just a little bit. So here's the reason why I like the Ranger and why I think it's a good truck. If you're looking for a small pickup in 2019, I'd say go with the Ranger, because you don't really find a lot of small trucks like this anymore. You know, I know you have like the Chevy S10 and you have the Nissan D21, but D21s are pretty hard to come by these days because the rust basically kills them. And these things, you know, I still see them. Even the old first and even the old second gens, the old second gen from the 80s, even the old 90s models that are still boxy. You still see them because these things survive. And I know RCR likes to talk a lot of crap about it. It's like, oh, you know, it's the worst truck you'll ever have, stuff like that. You know, that's just his opinion, I suppose. I mean, maybe he's based it on facts. I'm basing mine on opinions and my experience in driving this car for 4 years. This thing has 200,000 miles. It's almost 20 years old. This is a 2000. It's almost 20 years old. In 5 more years, it'll be an antique. I know. Think about it. Imagine that, an antique Ranger. See, the joke is about Fords is 300,000 miles. Said no Ford ever. And my plan was, I wanted to make this thing go to 700,000 miles. That's right, 300,000 miles. 300,000 miles. And, you know, well, I might just get it, you know? I might just get it. So, but I'm looking at a Accord wagon right now to trade it out for, or to buy in place of the Ranger. I want a station wagon because I want the seating capacity of a 4-door car with the cargo capacity of a hatchback. Now the hatchback is nice. I like the DX, I like the Civic, but it's not practical if I want to haul my friends. I want something that's practical to haul my friends in, gets good gas mileage, you know, and what's better than a 90s Accord wagon? Now, I could have got a normal Accord, but I particularly like the CB7, CB9 Accords, and I decided to look at one yesterday. I'm going to probably pick it up next week, whether or not the guy still has it. I will definitely give you a video and a rundown of that car if I do pick it up. So, well, if you want, we could let's go take it up for a little test drive. I mean, why not? I guess I could call this my for sale video. If you guys are interested in buying it, I am going to sell it for $500 because I think it's about a good price. Now, also, there is, you know, the usual rust and the usual spots. This is, of course, Maine. We do have rust around here, so, you know, it kind of makes sense to have a lot of rust. It's funny though, because you know the cord, I was looking at it, and you know there wasn't even that bad for rust for a nearly 30-year-old car. So I'm definitely intrigued here, intrigued by it. So let's hop in, and give it a little test ride down the road, and we'll see what happens, huh? Hopefully the camera stand will fall over while I'm driving it. Alright, let's put the keys in. If I can find my keys. Here we go. Let's get the keys in. And let's go for a little ride. Let's turn on the radio here. Turn off the climate. No, the AC does not work. That's the door chime because the door is broken. Well, the door is open. Even before the accident, the door had a hard time closing. I think it was a sensor, was bent in maybe, I don't know, but I had to like push it in to keep it from keeping the dome light on. I'm gonna just drive it up the block and that's it. This is a closed road, so we should be fine. Now, the only thing it needs besides the door is an exhaust. And well, it needs a new exhaust eventually, pass inspection, and it needs new tires. My dad was like, "Oh, you can run on these tires; they'll be fine." Well, Dad, gee, if I had new tires, I probably would have gotten in an accident. Honestly, I hadn't thought about selling it until I got into this fender bender. You know, it's come to the point where, you know, what's the point in fixing this thing? It's so old. It's so old now, you know. I mean, yeah, I could fix it. It's $75, fix a new door, you know. But it's just, I don't want to look like I'm some kind of crackhead driving this beat up old car around, you know. I don't know. It's just, I like this truck. I don't want to part ways with it, but at the same time, I'm thinking, you know, I need to get something more practical and just a bit better on gas. The truck is nice. I get about maybe 20 miles to the gallon if I'm lucky. I have driven this thing quite a few places. This thing used to go to Florida and back in the day when my grandfather owned it. So my grandfather owned it, and he gave it to me when I got my license as a late birthday present kind of thing. I've owned this truck since about 2014. And I put about probably 75,000 miles into it. I think it had I think it had about 150K miles when I first got it. I can't remember now. But yeah, it's now at 203,658 miles. So, you know, might need new brakes too, actually. I don't know. Engine still works good. Engine still runs strong even after all the shit I put it through. You know, I've done about, I don't want to say this, but I've done about 107 in this thing before the speed limiter kicks in. I've done about 90 with a camper on the back. I mean, it's not, I mean, if you want to put a 5.0 in this thing, go right ahead. But I think that's about it, really. That's, you know, I think that's about it for this video, actually. So that's my truck. Just talk a little bit about it, why I think you should get one, and you know, it's an old bird, but she still runs strong. But you know, it's about that time. I think I should just, you know, move on. I know it kind of seems weird swapping my old car for an older car, but those old Accords, man, they last forever. I mean, I still see them on the road today. As long as you keep it up, it should last me a lot longer than this thing probably will. So, anyway, guys, sorry to Snazzy. Signing off. Good night.